all of the different champions from last year are going to have to watch from home on this occasion. None of them have been able to make it out. Kamal Fo Adachakul, the cadet champion. Katrina E, junior champion last year. Aditya Wibblewo, the senior champion from last year. Luke Armstrong, the leading master. And Peter Chua, the leading veteran. All 5 of them are not here this weekend, so it's definitely a new dawn, a new day, and a new era of IAME Series Asia. A complete reset button for 2024 and beyond. And it really is fantastic to see the kind of competition that we've had, particularly across junior and cadet. A full plethora of drivers making their way to Thailand. But Toby Gale is the man on form. 2 races yesterday and 2 victories, and certainly looking good to make it a hat-trick here in the Superheat. But it's definitely going to be a longer race compared to what we had yesterday. 12 laps yesterday for the heats. It'll be 14 on this particular occasion. Sorry, my apologies. It's actually 18 for the Junior Superheat, so a lot longer than the races yesterday. They add 6 more laps to the Superheat that they had in yesterday's encounters, so it's going to be very tough indeed, particularly for those drivers who struggled at the tail end of yesterday's, because the temperature is so much higher today than it was yesterday. A lot of the drivers are going to have to be drinking a bottle of water pretty much every hour in order to keep themselves hydrated. Some of them will not quite be used to the intensity of this heat in this country at this time of the year. They've got to remember that it's 5 years since the IAME Series Asia raced in Thailand. So it's definitely going to be an interesting challenge. Not that it's that much different to this time of year in Malaysia, but of course Malaysia is slightly further south, closer to the archipelago, so it is a little bit cooler, but not by much. Let's see if we're going to go racing first time up. We are! It's a perfect start! And Kritishchini Upa is already going to lose out to Sipavanichunon, who goes straight into second place into the first corner, and we've got a slow-moving fireball. I hope that's not Garrow, who was there in the middle of the mix, but certainly it looks like one of the fireballs slow away. In fact, I think it's Kwan Ru Lee, so we're okay for Conrad Garrow in the middle of that plethora. But out in front, it is once again Toby Gale, who has got himself into a strong, solid position right off the get-go. But Kritis Jiriupa has been able to defend his position and hold on to second place in front of Kevin Supavanichunon, so has not lost ground in the end. 4th position is still the Sodi cart of Ethan Sito, having worked his way forward past Isaac Sayer in the DAP colours. So a terrific start here in Birra. And as drivers are already starting to make their impact on this race, we've got a couple of moves. That's Conrad Garrow, I think, getting his way up the inside to defend his position. Now there's going to be a big challenge into the final turn, but out in front it is Gale who leads Jiriupa. Then it is Silvanichinon in front of Sito. And then we have Isaac Sayer in P5 ahead of Garrow, Raikal, Kudatam Changchakul, Aaron Mehta, and Tiniarajana Japutibet. So doing a good job there, Tiniarajana Japutibet, making the way up into 10th position, having started towards the back. So for the record, we had 16 drivers taking the start of this one, because the 17th competitor in the mix, rather sadly, Nadal Imjapanya, no longer participating after an exclusion yesterday. So the contenders still battling away up at the front end of the field. It is, however, Toby Gale continuing his run for CRG Thailand, up in the lead. Second place for Kritis Jiriupa of the Forza Motorsport team, and in third, there he is. That is Kevin Supavanichunon in the CRG Thailand machine, still working the magic. And up into 4th position has come Isaac Sayer. So Isaac Sayer has worked his way forward past Ethan Sito. A good run there by the DAP-coloured drivers. So into 4th has gone Sayer. A little bit of a battle going on now between Ethan Sito and Zaria Frakal. So Zaria Frakal has definitely stepped up a gear now that he has worked his way up into P6. He's worked his way past 4 carts and is definitely fighting back to get into the position. Zaria Frakal going up the inside and gets in a 5th position. Good run from the Malaysian. So Zaria Frakal definitely fighting back in magnificent fashion as he continues the charge forward. That's now P5. So Zaria Frakal is definitely bouncing back beautifully on Sunday morning after the agony of breaking down before the race even began in race 2. So Rakal for the DRM Motorsport team doing a beautiful job. And the double R driver now closing right up on Isaac Sayer. Don't tell me he's going to launch into the final turn. I thought he was going to just go gung-ho and make the overtaking bid. But certainly at the moment, it's a very tricky situation for all of the contenders out there. But still, they battle and rage on. Zaria Rakal looking absolutely possessed out there as he charges in behind Isaac Sayer, who looks over his shoulder. That's an open invitation as far as Zaria Rakal is concerned. So he'll be trying to charge his way through to get into 4th position. They go through the right sweeper, and it looks pretty neat and tidy. But look at the way the cart bounces as they go through that right-hand sweeper. You throw the cart in, and it takes you about a second and a half again to then reclaim your position and your morale as you end up being shaken around like a pea in a frying pan as you come through. So Zadev Rakal trying his best to make the moves on Isaac Sayer. And both drivers are actually closing up now on Kevin Subramanian in the CRG Thailand cart. Here's the chance again from Zadev Rakal. The thing is, he can't go for the overtake in the final corner because you run the risk big time of getting onto the marbles. And it's again the same problem in turn 1. You probably have the momentum to get through, but you don't want to risk it. If you gamble it in the final bend and in turn 1 and get it wrong, you're actually going to go for one move and you could lose 3 places if you get it wrong. So it's a tough corner to try the overtake. Here's the chance for Zadev Rakal. Beautiful sweeping maneuver into 4th place. Isaac Sayer trying to come back at him. Not going to happen. The Malaysian shuts him down on the exit. Great racecraft from Zadev Rakal. That is exactly how you need to get the job done. Right, that's Isaac Sayer out of the way. Next target, Kevin Subramanian. And he's looking so fast here. So this is definitely going to be a really exciting run for all of the contenders. And, well, we've got a slow-moving cart at the tail end of the field. That's Kwan-Woo Lee, who has been essentially told to move aside because there's a problem for Kwan-Woo Lee. And it looks as though the leaders are going to come and lap him on this particular occasion. And it looks as though he may even be asked to move aside and park the cart. Clearly, he's got a problem of some kind. So, Kwan-Woo Lee having a difficulty there, and it looks as though they've used the mercy rule flag, essentially the blue flag with the red cross, to ask him to move aside and come into the pits. That's unfortunate, so clearly a mechanical issue. Now Zadev Rakal has closed right up on Subramanian for 3rd position, but as a result of that, they can't actually make the bid, and that's brought Isaac Sayer back into the hunt. So 3rd position still very much up for grabs. Can Zadev Rakal make the bid into the left-hander? Now you've got to wait, you've got to be a bit more patient than that, and Zadev Rakal knows that. So the Malaysian really working hard. This tells you a little bit about the kind of pace that Zadev Rakal could have in the final as well. For me, he's a serious threat to win this later on this afternoon. As Zadev Rakal lines up Kevin Subramanian. Again, he doesn't want to make the big gamble into turn 1. The cart flows out of 2. And is he going to make the bid coming up to the first left-hander? Subramanian's trying to place him in the wrong part of the circuit, trying to get back up alongside. Can he squeeze through the inside? That's well defended by Subramanian. He holds his nerve, and Rakal has got to wait for his opportunity. Now Isaac Sayer trying to get in there as well. Come on, if you can't get past him, I will. And they slip and slide through the right, through the left, back on the power as they come up to the long flowing right hairpin. And it looks as though it could be a switcheroo manoeuvre as Subramanian holds fast in 3rd position. And look at the tailback that's created. Here comes the move from Zadev Rakal. He brakes late, turns in on the radius. Can he shut it down on the exit though? Subramanian still alongside him. Who's going to brake? Neither of them. And Rakal holds it to the inside. He holds 3rd position. Brilliant racecraft from the 2 men. And here comes Isaac Sayer. He's going to get his move on the inside of Subramanian. Brilliant racing. The best we've had so far this weekend. And a terrific duel. Subramanian gambles and drops 2 places. Rakal into 3rd, Sayer into 4th, Subramanian down to 5th, and now he's got pressure from Sito, Changrakul and Conrad Garrow. And that's a big challenge around the outside from Sito, and that's really backfired because now Changrakul has come through on the inside. So Gunatam Changrakul in the black and white machine, now right in behind Subramanian in the CRG Thailand, the orange and black colours. So that's a bonus for Gunatam Changrakul, who's been able to move up into 6th place. And Ethan Sito really costing himself dearly there. So now Conrad Garrow in the fireball at the back of the train. There he is, the 109, lining up an opportunity to try and break into the top 6 himself. Meanwhile, up in the lead of the race, we've got Toby Gale still out front, but Kritash Jidiyupa is actually catching him at the moment. There's not actually an opportunity for Toby Gale to pull away, as Kritash Jidiyupa is trying to keep Toby Gale honest here. I don't think this is done at all in the junior category. Toby Gale may be under some pressure from Kritash Jidiyupa before too long. And still, they battle and rage on. So now that Zadev Rakal has been released in third position, he's been able to build a tiny bit of a gap between himself and the opponents. But there's 6 drivers behind who want the best of the rest title in fourth position. And that is Isaac Sayer, Kevin Sibavanichian, Gunatem Changchakul, Ethan Sito, Conrad Garrow, and now Aaron Mehta has joined in the Auto Inc kart with the FA chassis. So it's definitely getting a little bit spicy now for fourth position. The leaders continue to come through, and Kritis Gidiupa is doing the very best he can to hold on with Toby Gale. He's leaning back very far in the seat, actually, Kritis Gidiupa. I don't know if that's just his style, but Kritis Gidiupa, it's almost as if he's trying to lean back in the kart and hold his head over the engine. I wonder if that's to displace the centre of gravity. I've seen drivers with various different stances over the years. The single-seater and sports car racer Kaz Havercourt used to lean into the opposing direction that the kart was travelling in order to redress the centre of gravity of the car and make it a little bit easier to manoeuvre. Kritis Gidiupa leans back as if he's in a missile launcher. So fascinating to see the different stances of these drivers. And there's no right or wrong answer for how you position yourself in the kart either. It's how it feels natural to you, how you can maximise it, how you can feel the fastest. As long as you can come up with the results as a result of it, then, well, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. But Kritis Gidiupa, he does lean forward behind the steering wheel when he wants to gain a little bit of extra time. But fascinating to see the different stances. There is Gunatem Changchakul trying to close up on Kevin Sibavanichian in the CRG Thailand machine. But still, Zadev Rakal. The problem is, it took him so long, Zadev Rakal, to get through past everybody. He's not really been able to make an impact on the leading 2 because they've just gone clear. Well, we've got 8 laps to go. We've just completed lap 10, so we've still got just under half the race still to go. And this is when the tyres are really going to start screaming at the drivers now. They worked hard yesterday, and now they're going to start really causing an issue. This is going to come down to patience and discipline and control. You've got to be smooth if you want these tyres to go the distance. And the drivers are really going to be in a bit of a minefield at the moment if they want to hold on to the position. So out of the final turn, and through they come again. Onto the home straight. Changchakul still eyeing up the move. There is Isaac Sayer in the DAP colours, trying to stay with Zadev Rakal as much as possible, but the double R motorsport driver does have the legs at the moment. There are great battles going on elsewhere. It's great to see that pretty much everybody is currently locked in a fight of some kind. You've got Mark Sparich trying to get clear of Rafael Kamal. And then we've got Max Bhatia along with Sanjana Dandu. They're duelling away, as too are Chenere Janajataput and Sujana Dandu. So they're having some great races everywhere. It's not just in the top 5 that we've got great racing. One of the things I love the most about IAME is that you've always got somebody to battle with. You've always got somebody to try and psych out. And even if you're not racing for the top 5, even if you're just on the outskirts of the top 10, you still want to win that battle. You still want to beat your opponent, because you beat the opponent this time and you get the racecraft right. Then when it all comes good and you are racing up in the top 5, you'll know what to do. You'll know how to psych out your opponent. So it's important to stay motivated. It's very important to stay in the right mindset. Now, Kritis Gidiupa is doing everything he can to stay with Toby Gale. The gap is currently steady at 1.2. And their best lap times, would you believe, are only separated by 1,000th of a second. There's not much between them at all, Toby Gale and Kritis Gidiupa. It's all about patience and momentum now. As look at Kevin Sibavanichian. He's really struggling to keep Gunatem Changchakul at bay. There's Isaac Sayer, 4th position behind Zadev Rakal. But who is going to have the best opportunity now? In through the hairpin. Changchakul looking very strong here behind Sibavanichian. They continue working very hard indeed. So still they continue. Zadev Rakal leads the way. And a fabulous situation. Now it looks as though we've got a black flag coming out. We've got a black flag coming out onto the circuit by the look of it. And that is for the 108. That is rather sadly Sanjana Dandu. So Sanjana Dandu, I'm afraid to say, is being black flagged. I'm not entirely sure what for, but certainly Sanjana Dandu has received the black flag as they go past the pits. That's very unfortunate indeed for her. And we are told that the reason is because she has essentially got a rear bumper loose. So that is very unfortunate for Sanjana Dandu, and I can actually see it myself. it's not just loose, it's actually about to fall off the cart. So poor Sanjana Dandu may well be blissfully unaware of the situation, but for safety reasons she's got to come into the pits and fix the cart. So that's very unfortunate indeed for Sanjana Dandu. Most likely not her fault at all, but it doesn't change the fact that essentially it's a real problem. So Sanjana Dandu indeed comes into the pits and is out of the race. That's very unfortunate. So back with the battle for fourth position. There is Isaac Sayer, still desperately trying to hang on from Kevin Subhavanichinon, who's now found a little bit of extra pace and is trying to hustle the DAP-coloured Kart Republic in front. In through the right, in through the left. Isaac Sayer still holding station for the moment. Ahead is Zariev Rakal. And it really is a stalemate between our two leaders, Toby Gale and Kritesh Chiriupa. Neither of them are really cracking under the strain, doing an amazing job not to lose pace. But look at Kunatam Changchakal really starting now to pressure Subhavanichinon. So he's got to respond in earnest as well to go after Isaac Sayer in front. They come across the line. Still the battle for third raging. In fact, Isaac Sayer is actually stepping up the attack on Zariev Rakal again. 3 laps to go. So anything could still happen in the hunt for third position. And it looks pretty racy out there now. Still they hustle on. This battle for third position getting really intense as Zariev Rakal has basically burned off the advantage of the tyres that he had. Don't forget, of course, he had better tyres at the first part of the race because he didn't finish race 2. He didn't really start race 2. So his tyres would have been in a better condition than the drivers around him. But now that he's into third position, he's kind of hit the stopgap. And now his tyres are basically in a similar position to where everybody else's are. But does he have the staying power? That's the important thing. Can he hold on in front of Sayer, Subhavanichinon and Changchakul? So Zariev Rakal, the Malaysian, doing a great job here in third position. Great to see Malaysian talent at the top end of IAME Series Asia again. Had some fantastic drivers coming out of that nation. Alistair Young, looking at you. Obviously done a fantastic job in the Indian Racing League in the past. And loved this circuit when he raced here in his young days. He was telling me about it yesterday on social media when we were talking about it. Toby Gale and Kritesh Chiriupa still out front, holding station in first and second, but the battle for third is raging. What can Isaac Sayer do about Zariev Rakul? Through the right sweeper. Love that corner on the circuit. That really tests a driver's mentality and resolve. Up to the hairpin. That's going to be a prime overtaking spot on the last lap if we get to that stage between these two drivers. Out in front though, Toby Gale has started the final lap ahead of Kritesh Chiriupa. And now we're into the final lap for these 4. 3 racers trying to take Zariev Rakal on for third position. Up the inside, beautiful from Isaac Sayer into the last lap. Full conviction into turn 1. Catches Rakal by surprise. And Isaac Sayer gets the job done into third position. Now can he hold it for the rest of the lap? Here comes Kunatam Changchakul at the back of the train. Trying to take on Kevin Subhavanichinon. That was so classy from Isaac Sayer though. Absolutely hoodwinks the move on Zariev Rakal in the final lap into turn 1. And if he has the staying power, that is the steal of the century. Terrific move. But can he hold on? Zariev Rakal's going to be fighting back all the way. Down to the hairpin. One last chance to really go for the move. And Zariev Rakal is not close enough at the finish line. The checkered flag is out for Toby Gale. He gets the victory in front of Kritesh Chiriupa. We're going to follow this battle all the way, just in case there's one final change. Can Rakal slingshot out of the final turn? No, he can't. A good effort, a very good effort, but Isaac Sayer steals the top 3 on the last lap with a beautiful sweeping manoeuvre into turn 1. That was bold and brave from Isaac Sayer. And as Toby Gale and Kritesh Chiriupa dominate up front, Isaac Sayer completely steals the show in third place. And that really puts him into a strong position, ready for the final. If he can make that kind of performance again in the final and make the tyres go the distance, well, anything's possible. Very solid race from Toby Gale up front. Dominates in front of Kritesh Chiriupa. Third position for Isaac Sayer, then Zariev Rakal. Kevin Subhavanichinon from Kunatam Changchakul, and then Ethan Sito, Conrad Garrow, Aaron Mehta and Rafael Kamal.